What's up, people? It's Thursday. It's a sunny, beautiful day out, and decided to read some of the news articles. There's a bunch of stuff going on, but one thing in particular really got me going. It really annoys me to see, and it pertains to our never-ending failure of a war against drugs. It's funny that with the war on terrorism and everything else, we seem to have got acclimated to fighting a bunch of wars that aren't really wars, and wars that can never be won in the first place. Let's go check this out here. So basically, the article reads, TCU football players among 15 students accused of drug dealing at this university. Now, here's what the police have been doing lately. Here's what the feds and everyone, this is the new standardized operation of fighting this war. You take a super smoking hot chick who's an undercover cop. There's plenty of them out there. And you send them to these schools. I've been reading, different articles at other schools, universities, and whatnot recently pertaining to the same thing. They send these super hot chicks or whatever to these schools, and then what they do is they get someone to score drugs for them. Now, for you to tell me that 15 students were arrested for drug dealing, I immediately know upon hearing that's ridiculous. These guys are not dealing. There's no way there's 15 drug dealers that all got caught in this bus. This is retarded. What's happening here is undercover cops are saying, hey, can you score me some drugs? These guys are like, sure. They get the drugs, do the change in money or whatever, probably trying to impress, whoever this undercover officer is, most likely female in the case of these male athletes and these male students. And then they thusly turn around and say, oh, well, we did a money transaction for this. You're dealing drugs. Now, this in and of itself is a really slimy and back-assward way of even trying to put an end to drug use. I understand people's concerns, not wanting to see their own children become victim of drug abuse, things like that. I'm not advocating the use of all drugs. However, I am advocating the idea that we should all be free to do whatever the hell we want to our own bodies as long as it isn't hurting anybody else. We're living in a country where, up until, within the last 50 years or so, it was 100% legal to grow hemp. It was considered patriotic to grow hemp. Yet now at the same time, it's illegal. There's no way for the government, who has the biggest hand in the drug trade in the first place and the shipping and trafficking of it, there's no way for them to really make a substantial amount of money off of a weed that can grow pretty much anywhere in the U.S. For the most part. It just makes me angry. I don't know what university this is, but 15 people dealing drugs. This is a total sham. And what this is going to do to these kids is not only are a lot of them going to face, felony charges for dealing. These guys, I can almost guarantee you, are probably just guilty of shoulder tapping, of scoring for somebody. And so, you try to do someone a favor. We could sit here and pretend all day that these college kids, don't party and that there is no drug use occurring in colleges, but I invite any of you guys who've actually gone to college and graduated college to tell me the college you went to that didn't have these kind of issues at it. The college years is typically the years where a lot of people come out of their shell, especially kids who are kind of cloistered up by their parents and whatnot. They kind of get some freedom in college, and they get to experiment with altered states of reality and different ways of thinking, and they get to the challenge of making adult decisions on their own. And in the process of them learning about this, learning the difference between right and wrong and doing all these things, you've seen fit to trap them, and this is going to jeopardize their whole entire future over this one thing. It's like, hey, score me a joint. Now you're kicked out of college. No college is going to want you again. You know what I mean? Based on this. And this is just kind of another example of what's really wrong with our system.